Today's episode is brought to you by Tushy. If you're tired of toilet paper, let me tell you, get some Tushy. Also, today we're brought to you by Honey. Honey is the best way to save money when you shop online. All right, let's jump into this podcast. Hello, everybody. It's time for Jesse and Crendor.
Jesse and Crendor in the morning.
In the morning. Live. Before our recording studio audience. Recording. Wake your ass up. It's the Crendor in the morning. Hello there, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Jesse and Crendor in the morning.
Yes.
Couldn't tell what you were doing.
Well, every time I feel like I come up with something different, and I was like about to be like, yeah, and then I was like, I think I did that before, and I was just like, yeah.
Then you ended with a yes. You ended with a yes.
Yeah. It's, you know, when you think about that, like Lil Jon's from like 10 years ago now.
More than 10 years ago.
Yeah. Actually, well,
Lil Jon was not in 2012, my dude. Lil Jon was before that.
Oh, Jesus. What? Lil Jon's 50.
Dude, I know.
Oh, my God. That's insane.
See, this is like, your Lil Jon is like me with Lord of the Rings. Remember in 2010, Lord of the Rings? It's like, no, dude, that's 2001, bro.
Lil Jon's only 5'6"? I guess he is little.
Yeah, it's the Lil.
Dude, I'm taller than Lil Jon. Finally, somebody I'm taller than.
I would love for the two of you to get together. Make like a music video.
Lil Jon and Big Cren. Because I'd be an inch taller. I'm Big Cren.
Yeah, and Big Cren.
Yo, Big Cren. Yo, back in the day, I was looking at like the average height of like people like hundreds of years ago. Like I would have been like a 6'5" person equivalent like back in like 1100.
In 1100.
I don't remember the specific year, but like
in 1100. There's got to be a website called like Heights Through the Ages.
There's got to be
Heights Through the Ages. That's what it popped up Heights Through History, but all right. How tall was the average person in the 1700s? 67 inches. 65 inches.
I just want to know feet. Give me my American units. What do we got? 167.
That'd be 5'4" was the average height.
Yeah, so like even back then, I would have been tall. I was born in the wrong time. That's crazy. I mean, the thing is like, there's people that like get super self-conscious about their height, where they're like, "Oh, I'm so short," but that's like, you can't do that. You just gotta do you. You just gotta be you. Like
the average male height is 5'9" today.
Yeah. No, now I'm below that. Now I'm with Lil Jon. But like, I don't know. Like the thing is, like, if you're like at 5'7", I'm still taller than a lot of people I see. But I'm also not as tall as a lot of people.
But also, a lot of dudes lie.
Oh yeah, a lot of dudes lie, especially like on those websites you were using, right? Where they're just like, "Yo, I'm like 6'4", and then they like meet up and they're like 5'10". They're like, "Well, I was like wearing my shoes."
Even I know a woman who's very short, and she wears giant shoes just to seem taller. And I'm like, just embrace the fact that you're short. You walk around those freaking clown shoes all day. They have like extra
style now.
I mean, it's a something now.
You just don't get it. You're like an old man.
Look, I'm also tall, so
you're
looking
also
down
tall,
upon all of you.
Thing is, like, I actually enjoy being short. Like, you go on airplanes, you don't have to be like, "Oh, my legs are like sitting like a praying mantis," you know?
Let me just say, being tall on a plane sucks. Being fat and tall on a plane, worse. Have you ever tried using a bathroom on a plane being fat and tall? Impossible. It's an impossible task. I have to like brace in ways my body, like one foot is like up in the air.
Yeah,
if I go on a flight, I won't eat anything that day.
Really?
Most of the time, yeah.
Huh. That's crazy. I didn't even think
if they serve me food on the plane, I'll eat the plane food because I know I won't have to go to the bathroom until after I've landed.
I see.
But like the night before, like I won't eat a thing because I'm like, I'm not going to the bathroom on that damn plane. It's too much of a hassle. And then everyone else who's in that bathroom is dirty as hell. So now I gotta like maneuver my body in that bathroom. I'll be touching shit I don't want to touch. Oh yeah, no thank you. No thank you. That sucks.
That is true. Yeah, those was bad. Honestly, like, the entire plane's probably gonna be dirty. Well, at this point, they probably clean it a lot more than they used to. I would imagine.
I think that's probably the one more than they used to is the only true thing there.
Yeah, that's the thing is, like, even when people, like, they like make your food and stuff and they're wearing masks, it's like, I wish they just wore a mask all the time. You know? Like, things like food preparation or anything where they're like working with something, they're close, and they're like, you know, and they're like,
but you can't see their face, so you don't know if they like you or not.
Yeah, I guess. But I'd sacrifice that.
Yeah, I don't care if you like me. Did you make this food good? That's all. Like,
Yeah.
Is it sanitary? Is it good? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, how did we got to
I don't know
hear
how,
from me going, yeah, or yes.
Yeah.
So yeah. How's it going?
Can I just say two things? Well, first off, I was going to talk about today, but I want to talk about earlier this week first.
All right.
Earlier this week, maybe Thursday or Friday, whatever day, I was driving from running a bunch of errands back to the office. I was coming off the highway, getting ready to do my usual turn, and this young woman who seemed like, I don't know, a college kid in a white Prius, which when I told this story to everyone asked what the car was, and I said Prius, and everyone was like, oh my God. So I guess this is a thing.
All right.
But in a little white Prius, she like swerves to cut in front of me. So I honk. Like, I almost hit you, honk. Mm-hmm. She sticks one hand out the window, flips me off. I'm like, all right, whatever. She then proceeds to, like, not figure out which lane she wants to be in. And I'm like, oh my God, pick a lane. I'm just trying to go, so I honk again. 2 birds come out the window. She's flipping me off twice now. No hands on the steering wheel, double flipping me off.
Yep.
I'm like, fine. Yeah, I'm like, fine, whatever. So I slow down. So I'm not, like, immediately behind this psychopath. And she, like, keeps flipping me off. And I can't figure out what is happening. Like, is she mad? What is going on? Like, I have no interaction. I'm not honking anymore. I'm, like, not even interacting. I'm not flipping her off back. I'm just not even acknowledging her. I'm just waiting for her to leave my, like, immediate area and drive off. Because I am 2 blocks from turning to go to where the office is. So I'm just like, okay, whatever. But she continues to stay in front of me. And she keeps slamming on her brakes. And I don't honk anymore. I don't do anything. I'm just like, whatever. She's clearly pissed at something. I'm just like not going to engage. So she goes to turn, but then realizes that's not the right turn, swerves back in front of me. I honk finally again. I'm like, come on. This time she like is half out the window yelling at me. I'm like, oh my God, what the hell? And then she turns, and when she turns down the same street I'm turning.
Oh,
so now it looks like the street that I'm on is a no outlet. There's no way out of there. And now it looks like I am following her. I think that's what she thought, because suddenly she starts dramatically swerving and looking back, and she looks like she has panic in her eyes. And you're asking, Jesse, how can you tell? Her head is hanging out the window.
Jesus.
She's like looking at me and now panicking. So she gets back in her car and starts like driving erratically. Mind you, it's a one-way street and there's straight up there's no outlet. Like, so she's freaking out. I'm just slowly following, just like, oh my God, this girl, what is going on? She's freaking. And then she like drives past the entrance to the parking lot. So I just turn to the parking lot. I'm like, hey, all right, what a weirdo. As I go to park my car, she full reverses, flips me off, reversing backwards.
Huh.
And I just like was like, whatever, dude. I just can't with you right now. And I park and I leave. I was more worried about her getting out of her car and coming to attack me.
Yeah.
Than that. I think she thought I was like gonna get her or something. I don't know what the hell was going on, man. I don't know what that was. It was the weirdest experience I've ever had while driving. I cannot explain what occurred. I don't know what. She even had an out-of-state license plate, so I don't know what her deal was. It was very bizarre. But yeah, that was like a 10:30 in the morning on a Thursday or Friday this week. It was great. Huge fan.
Maybe she was on drugs.
I believe it. In this city, I believe it. I wouldn't even question that.
That's wild. That's like, you know, you get crazy people every so often, but occasionally you get like some really crazy people.
Like super, like dangerous crazy.
Yeah.
Not fun crazy. Like she was hanging out the car yelling at me. And I was like, I have said nothing and done nothing new except honk to let you know you almost hit me. It wasn't even like a honk. It was like honk.
I only had that one time where like, well, it wasn't like that, but it was this crazy guy who was driving this old beat up like white van that like the home improvement guys drive, you know, like all their tools and shit in it. Yeah, Tim Allen. And so he was just like, we're getting off the highway, and this dude was just driving normally, and we're like, all right. And luckily nobody's behind me because the dude is like trying to determine which way to go, left or right, and he just stops. And I was just like,
the highway?
Like, no, you know, like when you get off the highway, there's like a little ramp and you like circle around. Yeah. He stops in the middle of that. And I was just like, what? So I just like slam my brakes on. I'm like, what? And then he like looks left and right. I guess he didn't know where to go. And then he starts going right. Then he swerves back left. And then he swerves back right. And I was like, I'm going to go the opposite way of where this guy goes.
Oh, yeah. The smart money is to just be like, you know what? I'm just not going to be around that erratic driver.
Yeah. Part of me even thought, like, is this dude just trying to, like, get hit so he can be like, somebody hit me? Like, that thought went through my head.
I've had that thought a few times, especially in LA, where there's been a driver in front of me who's been really erratic. And I'm like, are they purposefully trying? Because I believe the fault is if you rear end someone, the fault's on you.
Yeah. Exactly. So I was like, I was like 90% sure that's what that guy was doing. So that was.
You made the smart choice. I would have been like, nope, I will not be hitting you today. I don't got time for this. So yeah.
No, that's the way to do it.
And yeah, and I'm coming off that other person that hit me from behind. So
yeah.
And I'm like, here's the best part. I took my car in, and it took them all, I guess they might have had the parts. I don't know what. It took them one day to fix it. That's the fastest service I've ever had. They were like, I took it in at an 8:30 appointment, and by 3 in the afternoon, they were like, your car's ready. I'm like, you gave me a loaner and everything. They're like, yeah, no, you can just drive down. We close at 5. And I was like, oh, okay. See you then. Well, that was pretty amazing. So I was coming off like, well, that got taken care of. I will say, my car still has one area where there's like a scratch on it that's pissing me off. But they're like, we'd have to replace the whole panel. I'm like, no, I'm all right. So they just replaced the rear bumper, but I guess everything else is fine. So whatever. And then they gave me like an oil change and shit. And they were like, yeah, don't worry, it's free. So here you go. And I was like, yeah.
Well, that's at least nice.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. But then, oh my God, then coming back. Oh, man. So when I took the car in the morning, I was supposed to come. So I took it on Monday at 8:30 a.m. And I do the MCU crew, which is the Marvel show that we do, every Monday at 10 a.m. So I said, all right, that's at least an hour and a half I have to get back. Plenty of LA time to do that. I'm fine.
All right.
I get back on the highway. I don't know, 15-minute drive. I'm 5 minutes in, and suddenly all the cars are stopped. And I'm like, what the hell? Come on. 10 minutes goes by. 15 minutes goes by. 20 minutes. Finally, I just pull up my phone and go on Twitter, and I type in like 405 Los Angeles traffic. And the first thing that pops up is a video, and I tweeted it, and they were like, there's a situation happening on the 405, and it shows an overpass. And I'm like, what the hell is this? I vividly remember going down towards this car place, and while I was driving, there was a dude on one of the overpasses throwing shit on the street, like the highway below. And I think that was the guy.
Huh.
I think, from what I could see, people on Twitter were saying that there was someone threatening to jump onto the highway from the overpass. And so the police shut down the road. But there were also a lot of cars, like by the time I got up there were also a lot of cars that were broken down. So I feel like we were stuck there so long, a bunch of cars broke down just while we were there. But the initial thing, I think, was this dude threatening to jump.
Huh.
I have no idea what happened with it, but I feel like I saw that guy while I was driving down. I don't know. It was so weird. Needless to say, we were supposed to do a show at 10. I got on the highway at 9, and I didn't arrive home until 11:10.
Wow.
It was a 15-minute drive. So I spent 2 hours sitting, not even moving, just sitting on the highway. And I was like, whew, thankfully I have gas in the tank, or this could have been bad. It was.
There has to be people that run out of gas on the.
That's what I'm saying. There were a lot of. By the time I got to when the traffic started moving again, it was still kind of a mess because there were a lot of cars that were just stuck in the road. And people were like, "Oh, that's probably what the problem was." I was like, "I don't think so. I think that is just an additional problem."
Yeah. Man, I am glad I don't drive in that. Just every time, like LA, it's not even like crazy LAP. It's just that traffic of like 15-minute drive takes 2 hours. No thanks, LA. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So, speaking of traffic,
Yeah.
there was traffic going to the Adepticon, which I don't know if you remember Adepticon, but it's like a Warhammer convention.
Yes, we had plans to go in March in 2020, I believe, before the pandemic. Yeah,
that's what I was saying. So it's been canceled since then, and now it's finally back. So I went to that because I was like, finally, something I can like drive to around here, and it's pretty neat. I met up with the like a Warhammer community guy, and he was just like, "Hey, I'm from England," and I was like, "Nice," and then
it's me, Mr. Creative Assembly.
He bought part of Games Workshop, he is. So I had a beer with him. That was neat. But the thing was, like, they were like, oh, yeah, and then they're going to have, like, this party for, like, other content creator people with Warhammer stuff. And I was like...
Dude, please tell me you went. I would love to know what that's like.
Well, I had to know what it was like, too. So I was like, all right, I'll go. But first, I was listening at the bar. There are these two guys, because it was around, like, I don't know, 9 p.m. there. And so these two guys were just talking at the bar, and they were not Warhammer people whatsoever. They were probably
there was
there
like
for,
two
business.
Dudes at a bar at the Warhammer convention?
But it's like one of those, you know, like PAX East, they have the hotel attached to the convention thing. And then,
sure, okay.
So it's
yes,
like
yes,
that,
yes.
where they're probably staying at the hotel for, like, business. Because there's also a bunch of business shit around there. And so they're just talking, like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And the guy's like, yo, I worked my way up, man. I worked my way up. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, I worked my way up. My mom did too. We worked our way up. You know, we earned this. And then he's like, yo, which whiskey you want? What was that? Was that 2017? Let's get the 20. He's like, I need a nightcap. And then they're talking more.
That's because he worked his way up.
He worked his way up. And the guy's like, yo, you got smoke? And he's like, I got a Juul. You want a Juul? And he's like, yeah, let's hit the Juul. And they just like walk outside and start smoking his Juul. And then they walk back in, and then
the worst part is you haven't described them once, and I already know what both these guys look like.
Oh yeah. And it was just two younger businessmen. Although one was more like a middle-aged businessman, but still, like, I was just listening to them talk. But that was like the main thing. Everything else just sounded like blah 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 blah. But I just remember him just being like, "Work my way up the ladder," and his mom did too.
I bet this guy 100%. If you would be like, "Yo, you TikTok," he'd be like, "I TikTok." You TikTok?
Yeah.
I TikTok. It's about brand integration, bro. You got a TikTok.
You got a TikTok.
That's where the views are, dog.
TikTok. So that happened. It was great. And I was like, all right, I'll go to this thing. So they're like, oh, it's like, it was in one of the lobby, kind of like how there's like BlizzCon parties on like the Hilton.
I thought you were about to say it was in a room. Like it was just in some guy's room.
It was like one of those like big suites, like a type of hotel thing. So I'm like, all right. So I go there, and there's like a bunch of Warhammer YouTube people I've seen, and they're just talking. There's like people being like, woo, like gathering up, being like, yo, I haven't seen you in forever. And then, but like aside from that, I was just staying. I was like, I don't know anybody here, and like this is this just reminds me of like TwitchCon parties where like everybody just sees people they know and they're like, yo, what's up? All right, bye. And then I was
so you recognize these people from, I assume, videos and stuff that they do, but what's the community like? Are they?
They're pretty cool.
Like, what I know of the Warhammer community is only the most toxic, crazy people.
Oh. No,
like the people that I see all the time when it's like Warhammer recommendations on YouTube, it's always like some guy who's like, why the orcs in Warhammer are representative of today's liberal media. You're like, what?
Yeah, I don't think that person was there.
I would hope not. But, you know.
It's more just people that actually paint and, like, talk about stuff. And they'll be like, hey, this thing's coming out with Warhammer, like, whatever. And there was just a bunch of them, and they're like, it was like an older, they're probably, like, between, like, 30 and 50. So, like, it was older people, and then there's chilling.
These are actually, like, fans and not just dudes who make angry, like, the Warhammer lore of the Empire is true to Earth today.
Reminding
you,
this is a
one God Emperor.
This is a Warhammer community event. All right, they're not gonna let's invite this person that hates Warhammer to our Warhammer community event. That sounds great. Like, so you know, it was all right. And then I stayed 5 minutes, and I was like, I'm gonna leave. Then I left. But then I went to the actual Adepticon. It was fun. So I walked around, saw some miniature stuff, saw some booths. I went. Somebody gave me free stuff. They're called Death Ray Designs. They're like, hey Crendor, do you want some Necron terrain? And I was like, sure, I'll take free stuff. So they gave me free stuff. It was pretty neat.
Death Ray Designs. I'm looking them up right now.
Yeah, Death Ray Designs. So that was cool.
New Necropolis. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they do a bunch of terrain stuff. They have like basings and stuff. Interesting.
Yeah. So it's like one of the people at a booth there. There's just a bunch of, and there's like half of the convention was just people playing games, just like sitting down playing games. And then there's this family of orcs. They're like cosplaying as orcs, and they would just walk around going wah. And then their kids were dressed up as like little goblin noblars, and they would just bang a cowbell. And it'd be like clang, clang, clang. And that's what they just did that the entire time. So it's pretty great.
I didn't. So I knew that there were goblins, but I didn't know that. So I played the ogre campaign in Total War Warhammer 3, and I didn't know that the ogre goblins were called nobblers.
Yeah, they're like mini goblins.
I had no clue that was their name, and that made me laugh so hard. I was like, these guys are not called GN nobblers. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah, they're great. And so just like walked around, looked at all that, and I was like, all right. The thing is, like, when I go to conventions, I like sitting in rooms where it's like panels, where like people are talking. I thought there'd be some, but there was like no panels. I guess because everybody's playing games, so they don't have panels. But like, I feel like
you don't even have
need
like
some panels.
Paint exhibit things, like a person's painting, and like when I was at
some of those. But not
when
like
I was
in
at
a
the convention
room.
in Canberra, when I was like in Australia, they had a Warhammer area, but it was literally like learn to paint like the pros. And what they did, I thought this was really neat, is that they had a guy who was like painting officially, but then around him were a bunch of tables, and on those tables were like a bunch of really crappy figures that clearly were just like bootleg knockoff things, and then a million paints, and you just sat there and you could paint. And I'm not even gonna lie, I was invited to this convention. I did my like shows and stuff I had to do, and then spent the rest of the time straight up like painting. Just went to that area and painted, and just painted characters. And it was like me and like 12-year-olds, and I did not give a damn. I was like,
You're like Billy Madison out there.
Yeah, it was great. I loved that. It's what inspired me to come back and be like, Crendor, I think I want to paint.
Damn.
Yeah, it was great. It's calming. It gives you like you have something to do. You have like a focus. You know the objectives and what you're trying to do. It makes sense to me. It ticked off all the things. I was like, you know what? This is awesome. I love it.
That's what I'm saying. It was that's like the reason I love Warhammer building and painting and all that. It's very meditative when you're doing it, and it gives you like something creative. It's a creative outlet. So yeah, we did that. But yeah, that was the only complaint, was I wish they had more like actual panels happening. They have like some events, like there's a beginner class. They have like how to do specific painting things. Like they have wet blending 101, learn how to wet blend. But like you got to pay to go to those. Like I like when you just walk into a panel, like what's going on here? You know?
It is, yeah. It's so, like, it's one of those things where I understand why they would do the things they would do, but I also feel like, couldn't they have panels where, like, the people come on and talk about, I don't know, like, even the best game I ever played, like something like that. There's got to be something.
Yeah, I don't know. So that would be my my only thing going forward is like get some panels. All right, and then that was pretty fun. It's not like a big convention. It's just like a smaller convention, but
I mean, you showed
fun.
me where it takes place. It's not a big location.
No, it's not. So like it's still like a fun thing to go to. It's like being in that convention environment because we used to go to like 4 conventions a year back like 5-6 years ago.
I know.
So that was crazy. So now it's
everyone this year's like, bro, you going to PAX East? I'm like, hell no. What?
No.
You kidding me? No.
Yeah. Like I wouldn't have flown to go to this thing. It's just the fact that it's like finally something that's like in a Chicago convention I can drive to. Thank God. Don't have to get on a plane and like stay at a hotel and do all that. So that was nice. And then this doesn't even relate to anything, but I was like yesterday in the morning, I was eating breakfast and I was like, I wonder if I just felt the urge to watch like 90s TV. And so I was like, I wonder if there's like a website that has like 90s TV or something. I guess you go on YouTube or whatever. So I did 90s TV and there's a website called my90stv.com. And they also have,
here I go.
They also have my 80s TV. And my 2000s TV. And
yo, this isn't just like, whoa. Can you actually watch stuff here?
Yes, you just like flip through. The thing is, they've like compiled a bunch of YouTube videos. So they're essentially just like browsing through YouTube videos because like some were like end of playlist. And I was like, oh. But the fact that they like put this all together and they've like sorted it by years, so you can like go year to year and it's like playing different stuff. It's pretty cool.
Dude, this is wild. There's a channel literally called NBC Commercials. And it's just commercials from NBC. WWF Wrestling March 1992 is one thing.
Yeah, they have sports. They got news, commercials. Like, they got everything.
The best of the Beastie Boys. Well, this is amazing.
Yeah, so I literally just watched this for like an hour.
I did not. I thought this was just going to be like a thing where it had a list of stuff from those eras.
No, it's like actually legit.
This is crazy. Yeah, there's the best of 60s, 70s, 80s, 2000s.
Yeah, like I went to 2002. I was like flipping through and it got to the news and the news is just like, it's getting crazy out here. The terrorists could strike again. And they said they'll strike apartment buildings. And they're like, are you worried your apartment building will be attacked? And they're like, I mean, that's pretty generalization, but, you just don't know. It's like, this is crazy. It's like going back in time. But you know what's going to happen in the future.
Dude, it is very weird. I'm watching a commercial. I just went to 2002. What the hell is this commercial? It's a Ralph Lauren commercial, but it's like extra patriotic because, like post 9/11.
Yeah.
So it's like a bunch of beautiful models riding horses, and the music in the background is like, ba, 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 bum, 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 bum. And then it's like, the world of Ralph Lauren. And shows him like waving it, and then like an American flag, and then a bunch of beautiful models and like polos and shit. Amazing. This is so crazy.
Yeah, like this was more than I ever expected. Just like being able to watch an actual weird digital TV. And you can like you can like check what you want and don't want. So like if you're like, I don't care about soap operas, you can like uncheck that and it won't go to the soap opera channel when you're looking through. This
guy at Joey Cato on Twitter is a engineer at Netflix, I guess.
The guy that made
he's
this?
using his powers for good.
Damn. Yeah, this
guy is amazing. This is so neat.
It really is.
What the hell?
Yeah, props to you, Joey Cato, Cato.
Wow, that's so
He worked on The
freaking cool.
Sims.
Dude, this guy is a hero.
This guy is a hero.
This guy is out there doing the things that, honestly, he did more for the internet than I think 99% of the people on the internet have ever done. This is incredible.
I guess he's had this for a while because he tweeted, he's like, Gizmodo wrote a nice article about my 60s TV. And it was just them talking about the TV thing in October.
That's so cool. That's so cool. I love this. Good find, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you want to just take a trip down the old nostalgia lane and watch some old TV, you just pick a year and check it out.
That's very good. Wow. All right, I need to close this or I'm going to be looking at it all day.
Yeah, so I was saying, I was just watching for an hour, and then you start remembering things. They start playing, like, here's LL Cool J, and I'm like, oh my god, he existed. I mean, he still exists, but he was relevant.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty neat. You reminded me of that because I was watching your live stream for a bit, and you talked about the chop, and I was like, oh yeah, TV.
Yeah, that was the thing people used to watch. Or unless you're my case, still watch.
The thing is,
so that's
like, you talked about those formulas, but like every show has that formula. It's not even just Food Network shows. Like every show has the formula. Like they used to, when we watched Container Wars, whatever the shit it was. Like you knew the formula. They would just go like, oh, am I gonna be able to buy this thing? It's like, I bid 55, 55, 65, 65. And he's like, I don't know if I'll be able to afford this one. And he's like, I'll do it. And then he ends up finding like some rare thing. It's like, wow.
Yeah, but like it's Chopped is so weird because it's so like you can't imagine that a cooking show, especially a cooking competition, could be that formulaic, but it always is every time. Every time the first commercial break is always, oh no! Like before we did this, I was eating dinner and I decided to watch an episode of Chopped because I was talking about Chopped and it was on my mind, and it was Memphis barbecue, and one of the chefs was like, I was cooking my chicken. I looked down and I was like, oh, I didn't even touch my barbecue nachos. I don't know what to do with the barbecue nachos. And the music's like, bum, 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 bum. Commercial break. And then it comes back and he's like, so the idea I have with my barbecue nachos. You're like, come on.
Oh, yeah. You always know they're going to figure it out. They just edit it. So it's just like, oh,
yeah,
no
it's
problem.
all editing. And it's, I guess because you have to make a show like this dramatic.
Yeah. Without dramatic moments, really. Yeah,
there's no dramatic moments in a bunch of chefs like, yeah, so I guess I'm going to cook these barbecue nachos and make it into something else.
Yeah, it's like, but every show uses that formula. Like, even if you go to, like, TLC or something, where they're like, my 800 kids, and they'll, like, do a thing, they're like, hold on, I only counted 799 kids. Where's the one? And it's like, bam, 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 and it comes back like, oh, he was under the bed.
There's, I want to say today, though, this episode of Chopped had the biggest reverse Uno card I've ever seen in my life. This guy comes on the show, and it was Memphis barbecue was the theme. And the first round they had in their basket, if people who don't know Chopped, they give them a basket of 4 ingredients, and they have to use those 4 ingredients to make whatever it is. And it's like 4 surprise ingredients. So it was Memphis barbecue was the theme, so they had to make Memphis barbecue with the ingredients. And again, one of the ingredients was barbecue nachos. Which, I guess is just barbecue on nachos? I have no idea how that works. But anyway, one of the guys, his meal that he made was barbecue nachos. So he got barbecue nachos and then made barbecue nachos with the barbecue nachos. And then when he presented to the judges were like, so why do you have an affinity for barbecue nachos? And he's like, well, I invented the barbecue nacho. I was like, holy shit, this guy played the system. They gave him the thing he invented, and then he just used it to invent another barbecue nacho.
That's wild.
It's crazy. Yeah, I was like, this guy is amazing. So, yeah, that's why I watch for moments like that, apparently.
I used to watch, like, HGTV stuff. I say used to. I still occasionally watch HGTV stuff, but they do the same thing. They're just like, we're trying to flip this house and the pipes aren't working. They're like, the pipes aren't working. What are we going to do? And it's like, there, there, there. Then they come back and they're like, so we called a guy and he's going to fix the pipes. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's never exciting. It's always just like, we have to make tension for the commercial break.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, cool, I guess.
It's like, House Hunters too. Like House Hunters, they don't really have like a super formula, but it's got like a similar, you can tell what's formulaic about it and like what they're told to say. I swear to God, take a shot. Every episode they go, I can see myself. Like they tell them to say, they're just like, I can see myself out here just, you know, on the balcony having a coffee, talking to my dog about how he's a dog. And it's like, okay. But like every time, or they'll be like, oh, this is a great space for entertaining. They never go like, hey, this would be good to have friends over. They're like, this is great for entertaining. So you know the producers are like, okay, if you see this spot, you say it's entertaining. Okay, make sure you say the word entertaining.
Yeah, probably the company that gave them the furniture or whatever was like, it's great for entertaining. They're like, make sure you say it's great for entertaining.
Yeah, every time. And then they're always just like, you know, it's me. I'm a teacher at a community college, and my wife is, you know, works at a small coffee shop as an IT person. So we're moving to San Francisco, and our budget's our budget's $800 million. And you're just like, what? They'll just be like, yeah, I'm a janitor at a grade school, and my wife is an author. She wrote one book. It sold 5 copies. Our budget's $80 million. Every time. And then there'll be someone else.
It's one of those things like, just say what your budget is, and that's what we have, you know, so people will know how much this costs in real life.
But I just want to watch the normal people that are just like, hey, I'm a normal person. We have normal jobs, and our budget's like $250,000. And you're like, okay. But then I guess the houses aren't as exciting as if someone's like, hey, I'm gonna look at Silicon Valley for my mansion. All right.
Yeah, it's all because some company was like, yeah, we'll donate this. And it's like, all right, well, how much does that cost? Oh, that's $100,000. All right. Well, they have to increase the price of whatever they're doing by $100,000. Even though this couple isn't paying for it, we have to have them say their price range is this so that people will know how much the different things cost, like that kind of thing.
I know apparently with House Hunters, they like they already know what house they're going to get before they even go on the show. So they just like,
I believe
they're like, all right, we're buying this house, but then they're like, we'll just show you 2 houses, and then, you know, they go with the one they're already buying. But the other formulaic thing they do is they always have the couple have contrasting things. They're never like, yeah, we both just want a nice modern house, cookie cutter build, whatever. They're always like, I'm a little more traditional. Okay, I just want like character in this house, you know, something old, you know, it's been lived in, but he's more modern. He wants like, you know,
I was thinking a sex dungeon in the basement.
If we could compromise, like if it's a nice 1700s sex dungeon, a little more character, that'd probably be okay.
Yeah, I want something a little more modern, a little more funky. I was thinking a sex dungeon in the basement.
That's like the late night HGTV.
I just want some guy to do that. Like the wife's like, I was just thinking like a little breakfast nook, and maybe a place where I could put a bookshelf, maybe a built-in bookshelf. I'd love to read. Anne of Green Gables, my favorite. And the husband's like, yeah, I was thinking something a little more eclectic, like a sex dungeon in the basement. And the wife like gives a little wink to the camera. That'd be amazing. That'd be amazing.
That just cuts
that'd be the
like,
episode to watch.
Some random stock, and you're like, doo 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 doo, and they like they just film like a goose walking around or some shit. They always do that. They're like, here's a stock thing, like some stock music. There's like animals jumping around like a frog, and then like some person riding their bike through the city. It's like it.
So I found all of this usable metal, and we're going to spruce up this basement and then hook the chains to the metal to have it give it a real industrial feel. The guy's like, I love it. Right, honey? And the wife's reading Anne of Green Gables. Like, it's great.
So yeah, that's the formulaic TV. And overall, I get it, and I can't stop watching it.
I need to say, by the way, I know we've done it on this show before in the past.
Yeah.
And we've talked about it, but today on stream, the end of the stream, I might have to upload this to YouTube because it blew my mind. Someone in chat said, Jesse, are you a Taurus? And I said, Yes, I'm a Taurus. And then that person said, is that your sun's sign? And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? They're like, is it your sun? And I was like, oh, this is that thing where like, you know, well, my sun sign is this, and my moon sign is this,
right.
and my Gemini is this, and whatever. And basically, it's just a way for you to be everything, so no matter what, the horoscope always fits, is how I feel, right?
I think it's just a more in-depth astrology thing, but I honestly don't know, like, how it even works. I don't know.
Well, so, because I didn't either, I went to this website, called my mom on stream, was like, what time was I born? Did the whole thing. Went in, inputted all the information, and the output it gave me was so incredibly accurate, it was frightening. It was scary, dude. I almost for a minute, I was like believing. I was believing everything it was saying about me. I was like, oh my God. I didn't know what half of it meant, but all the things it was talking about, like my personality stuff, believed every bit of it. Then I went in and just typed in a random, I named a guy John Smithman, and typed in a random information. And here's the thing. It was roughly equivalent, except worded differently. So like,
yeah.
The one, for me, it was like, you are a sun Taurus, and so you are stubborn and set in your ways. And then I was like, John Smithman was, I think, Sagittarius or Scorpio or something. It was like, when you have an opinion, you stick to it. And I was like, that's the same thing.
Yeah, there was, I forgot his name. Some, like, philosopher, scientist, whatever guy. And he did, like, a thing in a classroom about astrology and, like, fortune-telling and all that. And he gave everybody the same, what do you call it, like, reading. And so he just worded everything differently. So he just mixed it up. Instead of being like, you get stressed easily, you like to talk, he would like give the same thing to someone else, and it would just be like, you like to talk, you get stressed easily. Like, just mixed up so people didn't think they got the same one. And pretty much, he was like, how accurate do you think this is to describing you? And everybody pretty much said it was like 70 to 90% accurate. And then he was like, well, you all got the same one. So it's like, he's like, the way the brain works is it just fits you into whatever. So it's like, you're stubborn, and it's like, everybody can be stubborn at some point. That doesn't mean you're more stubborn than someone else is on a consistent basis, but it's like very vague. So it's all about being
what's
vague.
fascinating is the things it said about me. The reason why it was so funny and why I was like, I think I believe in this, is because earlier in the stream, I had been talking about a bunch of different things, and it seemed like every single thing I had said, this thing picked up on. And it was humorous because it felt like someone was watching the stream just writing out notes about me.
Yeah.
And we were all laughing about it because it seemed like it was super accurate. And here's the thing, it was super accurate, but then when I went to go look at everyone else, like you know, John Smithman, it was accurate there as well, but just worded differently. So I feel like you're totally right that I think we all are looking for the same thing. It was just very funny that the things I was saying on stream, it was like nailing me on. I felt called out on so much stuff. I don't know. It was, for a brief moment, I was like, I think this is real, y'all. I think this is real. It was pretty funny. I would highly recommend, if you were listening right now, go watch it. It was pretty wild.
I'll watch it, and then I'll do it, and I'll see.
Dude, I like called my mom and was like, when was I born exactly? She's like, what? I think I spent like an hour reading through all the, because it gives you like, this is your moon, and this is your this, and this is you're in this house. And the more I read, the more I was like, damn. Like there was a lot of stuff that's accurate, and then there was a lot of stuff that was like, you know, very vague, but I was like, oh, right? Yeah. I would say 20% of it was on the nose, like 100% Jesse. And then 80% was so vague that it was still 100% Jesse, but it could have been about anybody. So it was interesting.
You know what else is interesting?
Hey!
Yahoo!
Honey is here to save you money when you shop using your iPhone or computer. How do you feel about shopping online? Do you do it often?
Yeah.
Who doesn't these days? It's the thing to do. Most people, you should see the mailroom in my apartment complex. It is boxes and they don't even put it away anymore. It just sits there. How it is not stolen is beyond me. Well, that's because most people are shopping for things online right now. And Honey is the best way to save money while you do that. Because look, we all want to use as many coupon codes as we possibly can while shopping online. But searching for them manually, having to remember them, it's a lot. Honey saves you the hassle of that. Honey will literally do it for you. Honey's the free shopping tool that scours the internet for promo codes and applies the best one it finds to your cart. Imagine you're shopping online for shoes or for pizza or for like a microphone because you want to be a cool streamer like me. Wink, 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 wink. I don't know, whatever. When you check out, the Honey button appears and all you have to do is click apply coupons. Wait a few seconds as Honey searches for coupons and it will find it for you if they are available for that site. If Honey finds that coupon, watch those prices drop. Honey just doesn't work on your desktop either. It also works on your iPhone now too. Just activate it on Safari and you can do it on the go. It's so simple. Honestly, it is the easiest thing you can do for yourself. If you aren't using it, you're just missing out on savings. All you gotta do right now is go to joinhoney.com/Cox and you get it for free. It is a free product. Go to joinhoney.com/Cox to get Honey for free today. Also today, we're brought to you by Tushy. The time for spring cleaning is upon us. Do more than just dust your cabinets or organize your closet. Spring clean your butthole.
Whoa.
With Hello Tushy bidets. That's right. That's where I went with that. After wiping with dry, scratchy toilet paper all winter long, your bum could use a serious refresh. Put your cleanest booty forward and start washing with Hello Tushy today. Stop spreading your business around your butthole with toilet paper. You know you're just making it more messy back there. You don't want to talk about it, but I'll talk about it on this show. Crendor's not going to stop me.
That's true, I'm not.
Start washing with Hello Tushy bidets right now. Hello Tushy is a bidet attachment. It washes your bum with fresh water for a way better clean than toilet paper. All you do is simply spray, pat it dry. Attaches to your existing toilet. You don't need an electrician. You don't need a plumber. It takes about 8 minutes to put in. Not even that big of a deal. Will cut down your toilet paper usage by 80%, saving you money and preventing you from wasting all that paper. Make the restroom your best room with the complete Tushy system, including the Tushy bidet attachment, ottoman, and toilet brush. Hello Tushy has cleaned over 1 million happy bums. Join them and take care of your business the cleaner way. We want you right now to go to hellotushy.com/Cox to get 10% off plus free shipping right now. If you want, if you get it, seriously, just at Hello Tushy. That's right. Shout it loud, shout it proud. You got a clean butt. Very proud of you. That's hellotushy.com/Cox for 10% off and free shipping right now. That's hellotushy.com/Cox. All right, Crendor, let's go shopping. Let's go, Crendor. Let's go there.
Oh boy, traffic is going. We've got so much traffic on the 808, the 706, and the 505. Checking down here, it looks like there's some more traffic at the 259. And it looks like there's some more traffic at the 802? That's the 802, yep. So if you're taking any of those, just don't. Back to you.
I don't think anyone's taking those. I don't think those are real.
Then why are they on my map?
Oh, that's a good point. Good point. Touche. You got me.
Yep.
All right, let's go to weather.
Weather time. We've got, this one's been upvoted.
Upvoted? Oh, my goodness.
Well, on the YouTube. Helena Hasson. Weather request for Frufallen, Sweden. Literally translates to wife trap. So could be something for Jesse to consider.
Frufallen, Sweden? Okay. Now my hunt begins.
In Frufallen, Västra Götaland, Sweden, it is 39 degrees, partly cloudy. 33 degrees is what it feels like, though. 30.02 inches of pressure, 89% humidity, 10-mile visibility, 8-mile-an-hour winds, 36 on the dew point, UV index 0 of 10 with a waning crescent moon. Looking at the 10-day, tonight, partly cloudy. Winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, 38 degrees. Monday, 53 with partly cloudy skies. Tuesday, 42, partly cloudy. Wednesday, 40, mostly sunny. Thursday, 42, partly cloudy. Friday, 43, partly cloudy. Saturday, 44, mostly sunny. And Sunday, 45, partly cloudy.
So why is this place considered the place where women can't escape from? What is happening here?
Oh.
I'm looking at it, and it seems like one road. That's all I can tell. Maybe like 3 or 4 roads, and it's on a lake. And it's near Boris. And it's kind of close to Copenhagen, kind of. It's in the southern part of Sweden.
Well,
so, I mean, like, that's good for me. But also, what is the rule with this?
They said that it literally translates to wife trap.
Wife trap.
So if you type in wife trap, it also says Frufallen Sweden, wife trap ekonomiska foreign, as well as wife trap brewery.
There's also well, this is weird. There's a link here called Top Face, dating site for serious relationships in Frufallen, and the image is like a dude duck facing. So, I mean, that's, yeah.
Maybe that's
about it.
Maybe that's where you gotta go.
There also appears to be a lot of like antique stores, which is probably the trap.
That probably is the trap.
Like, honey, let's go to the antique store. You're my wife now.
They always say that's what happens in Sweden. That's the weather.
All right. Let's go to sports.
Sports. We've got sports. We've got sports. NCAA Final Four is set. It's going to be North Carolina versus Duke, a classic. And then Kansas taking on Villanova. So some good games there. Over in soccer, looks like USA 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifying is happening, and USA is beating Panama. I don't know what any of that means. Or
qualifying for the World Cup. That's pretty good.
So I guess, yeah, they didn't even qualify last World Cup, right? I don't think they did. So maybe they will this time. Over in the NBA, closing in on the end of the season, only like 7-8 games left for each team. You've got the Celtics, Heat, Bucks, 76ers, Bulls, Raptors, and playoff spots, followed by the Cavs, Nets, Hornets, Hawks, and the play-in. You've got the Suns, the Grizzlies, Warriors, Jazz, Mavericks, Nuggets in the playoff spots, and the Timberwolves, Clippers, Lakers, and Pelicans in the play-in, but that could change. Then we have the NHL standings. We've got the Panthers.
You're about to do like a little song and dance like NHL standings.
No. We got the Panthers at the top, Hurricanes, Penguins, Rangers, Lightning, Bruins, Maple Leafs, Capitals. Wait, are those the... Oh, my God. Yeah, those are the top teams. And then the 8th seed is the 84 points team. And the next highest is 69 points. Nice.
Damn.
That's pretty crazy, though. They're practically in the playoffs already.
Yeah,
but
dude.
The West, you got the Avalanche, the Flames, the Wild, the Kings, the Predators, the Blues, the Oilers, and the Golden Knights. But this one's much closer. The 8 seeds got 76 points, while the ones below them got 75, 73, 72. So all those teams fighting for that playoff spot. Seattle Kraken, not doing great. 46 points, second lowest in the NHL. Tied with the Canadiens, though, and 2 points above the Coyotes.
And the name's good, too. So, like, I don't care.
Yeah, their name's good. So you know what? For a team's first year, you're already tied with the Canadians who've been around for like forever.
Yeah, that's like their whole country's sport.
Yeah, look at that. So there you go, Seattle. And then NFL, bunch of trades have been happening. So yeah, that's sports.
All right, what is our fact of the day?
Fact of the day. This one's fun. Napoleon once was attacked by thousands of rabbits.
I did not know this. Yes, go on.
Napoleon was once one of the most powerful men in Europe, but he suffered an ignominious? Is that how you say this word?
I'm waiting for the rest of this sentence.
Ignominious.
I'm waiting for the rest of the sentence. Go on.
Ignominious defeat at the hands of rabbits. After a military victory, Napoleon's chief of staff organized a rabbit hunt to celebrate. Thousands of rabbits were brought to be set loose, but instead of hopping away when the cages were open, they turned to attack, swarming the partygoers. After trying and failing to shoo them away, the great Emperor Napoleon ran for his safety of his carriage.
I love this. What a great story.
Yeah, that was a great story. Look at that. Napoleon defeated by rabbits and winter.
Yep. The rabbits.
His two biggest enemies, rabbits and winter.
The more you know about history, the better it becomes.
And that is your fact of the day.
All right, well, what is our big news story of the day?
Big news story of the day. So this one, oh my God. So I was down to 2. Alabama man accused of stealing 70-ton crane. And then there was man known as Scott Fudge jailed after attack on elderly person. But here's the thing. This is Scott Fudge.
Oh no. Oh no.
Someone
I feel bad for Scott Fudge. Like that guy. Ooh.
Someone said, looks like the bug wearing the dude's skin from Men in Black.
That is exactly what it looks like. Oh man. Dude, that guy is just unpleasant.
Yeah, that is.
Wow.
So that's why I didn't want to read the story because it's like a sad, like he's tagging an elderly person.
That's very sad. Like he's sad, it's sad, all of it's sad.
Just the fact of him looking like a bug from Men in Black, I had to point it out.
Well, thank you. I'm glad someone had to.
So we're gonna read about Alabama man. The suspect claims someone gave him the crane and he wanted it removed so he could sell it for scrap. An Alabama man who called a wrecker service asking to have a 70-ton crane pulled out of the woods is now charged with stealing heavy machinery. The owner of a towing service contacted the Chilton County Sheriff's Office on Monday, saying the man had called claiming someone gave him the crane and he wanted it removed so he could sell it for scrap. The wrecker service owner recalled moving the same crane a few years ago and contacted its owner, who denied having given it away. The towing operator then called law enforcement. The man who wanted the crane moved fled before officers arrived, driving the rig into a ditch where it became stuck. The 26-year-old Clanton man was arrested Tuesday on a probation violation and first-degree theft. We have worked a lot of theft cases over the years, but this one definitely takes place in the heavyweight category, said the sheriff's office.
Category.
Category. Yo, this is a big-ass crane. Look at this thing.
It also has like a military vibe.
Yeah, it's like a military crane. Dude just like took it. It's like, it's mine now.
Or it's Alabama and they just painted it camo because like,
that's also very possible. Although I don't know. It does look old, but either way, this dude wanted to sell it for scrap.
I mean, you probably could.
Yeah.
There's a lot there to sell. Like there's a lot there to scrap sell.
But he also stole it, so.
Right. I mean, like, it wasn't his to sell. Yeah.
That's your news stories of the day.
Okay. That's it for us. Thank you so much for listening or watching or however enjoying this podcast. Crendor, hit him with the socials.
Socials. YouTube.com/Cox and Crendor podcast. All one word. You can see all the podcasts. Up there, you can also go to Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud. Just look up Cox and Crendor, you'll find it. If you go to youtube.com/Cox and Crendor without the podcast part at the end, you'll find all the animations. You can also find us at our own things at youtube.com/Jesse Cox, youtube.com/Crendor, Twitch Jesse Cox, Twitch Crendor, Twitter Jesse Cox, Twitter Crendor, Patreon Jesse Cox, Patreon Crendor, Facebook Jesse Cox, Facebook Crendor, Instagram Notorious Cox, Instagram Crendor was taken.
Okay, that's it for us. Thank you so much. We'll see you all next time, and as always, to be continued.